All right, folks, we are back live from the basement of a bank filled with 500 stark Ravens soccer fans. We are safe from the gunfire of West Baltimore. We are safe from impeachment, and we are next to a vault full of gift cards, safe from soon-to-be mayor again, Sheila Dixon.
Phenomenal.
I'm here with my main man, the co-coach, Adam the Miz Mizell. Tell him what's going on, Miz.
I'm deciding if I was in the city who I would vote for mayor. I think the list is up to like 25 people now.
Is there any of them in the city that don't have a criminal record or are not under investigation?
I don't know the answer to that as a fact, but I'm going to just venture a guess and say no.
Baltimore City, you're on the right track. Way to go, guys. And we have a great show lined up for you today. Tell us what's going on, Miz.
Huge announcement over the last few months or year-ish. We'll get all the information. I'm going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot. And it relates to a big tournament, biggest soccer tournament in the world.
Big.
And something to do with it being possibly held around here. We'll see.
And we got the right tournament guy to talk about it, that's for sure. Our special guest today is none other than the big man, the Libs, Mike LIBBER. We also got
Landon Donovan.
Landon Donovan back again.
Coaches Convention is coming up soon.
Huge. The best coaches in the country flock together on our little city. We hang out, we take classes, a lot of adult beverages, shall we say. It's a good time. What else, Miz?
It's a holiday coming up. Has something to do with trees and a guy in a red suit. Are you going to be that guy this year? Or are you going?
I could be that guy.
Okay.
But I heard in the city that they don't leave the presents, they take them.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Different kind of clause. All right, so we're going to start it off like we do every week, folks. Let me tell you something. My back is jacked up sometimes. You ever see on, what's the movie, the one movie with superhero movie?
A Batman the Dark Knight.
Yeah, The Dark Knight Rises. My back felt like the other day. You ever see the part where Bane, the guy's like, welcome to your liberation. Picked up Batman, who was like, hey, put me down, man. And he snaps his back like that.
Yes.
What was the line that he used?
What will break first, your spirit or your body?
Yeah.
So let's hear that in Bane voice. Go ahead.
Which will break first, your spirit or your body?
Crack! That's the way my back felt. But I went to my main man, Dr. Adam Maddox at Ideal Health Chiropractic. And I tell you what, Miz.
Fix you right up.
Fix me right up. Every time I go there, he uses the guns. Like, and I'm telling you, it is unbelievable.
You didn't get in the waterbed?
I didn't have to get in the waterbed. But what he does this like kind of adjustment thing where it's not where he cracks the neck, although he could do that. But he doesn't do that. He does this other thing, and you walk out, and you're like, you feel 10 years younger. You actually, like, I went from having my back cracked to actually being Batman.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you fly out in the back copter or whatever he has, or?
I did not. I glided out. And by the way, I bought a Batman costume one time, and on the box, it said, warning, cape does not give the ability of flight.
Wow.
Yeah.
I too.
We live in a town of morons.
I'm anti-spend money for Halloween costumes, so
Yeah.
I bought one Batman costume. I believe it was 94, 95, and it was just aptly titled, and I wrote it on the box, Batman Forever, which was the name of the movie, but I was going to be Batman Forever because I was never going to spend any more money on a costume.
But of course the Batman cape didn't get you the ability of flight, right?
No, but it did.
Because that would be the Superman costume, which gives you the ability of flight. Batman couldn't fly.
It did allow me to I think, drink a few more beers than normal, though. Is that part of it?
Well, yeah, because you got the mask, you got the cape, you can be anything you want. Nobody knows.
It doesn't come with the belt with all the toys on it?
Utility belt with a beer, with a Miller Lite. Could you imagine if you were drunk and you had that? Anyway, Adam Maddox.
Or the retractable thing where there's, the beers across the room and you just, and it comes to you. Yeah, be great, wouldn't it?
I smell a bit coming up, Miss Morgan. Miss Morgan, of course, on the ones and the twos, the super producer. She's waving, but she's off camera. You can't see her. So, Miz,
She's back there practicing her rhyming, you know.
I'm one hell of a rapper.
Yeah.
Hell of a rapper. I've seen her.
I got to get a sample after the show here. Nice. Let's go, man. Let's do it.
All right, Miz. Now it's time for one of our favorite parts of the show.
It's my
what you got
favorite. The mystery question of the week. It's holiday season, baby. I need to know. Best and worst Christmas gift ever, man. Give it to me.
That I've received?
That you've received. And now take the sentimental stuff, you know, grandfather Joey's necklace from the war, you know, none of that. But the coolest gift and then the worst gift ever.
All right, well, I got to go back to when I was a kid, right? The coolest gift I ever got was the vibrating aluminum football game. The electric football game where you had to line up the guys. You have a boom, and one play takes up the whole game because the quarterback just runs around in circles. That was my favorite thing I've ever gotten, right? It was an awesome gift.
Ran on D batteries, I believe?
No, it was plug into the wall.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Worst gift I ever got. I can't say who gave it to me because the person might get offended.
Right.
But I had someone give me a pair of jeans. But they weren't like jeans. They were like jeans. And they
What's the difference there?
Okay, well, like, I'm wearing jeans.
Okay, yep.
These were like Wrangler. Like jeans. Like, and so they were
made of burlap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I felt like I did something wrong and I was doing a penance in the Old Testament when I wore them. And they were a little snug in areas that you don't want snugness. And it was like almost like country line dancing-esque.
Gotcha.
You know,
were you a kid when you
No.
got
This was like in
last year.
This was in the I don't have hair anymore days.
Okay.
So,
but it was past the fold and roll.
Yeah, it was way past the fold and roll, which, by the way, we're bringing back. Bottom of the jeans, fold it, roll it, cuff it.
That's how we did it. Yeah, but so that was
the worst gift because you had to wear it. You had to wear the jeans in front of the person so that they knew you actually liked the gift, but you didn't like the gift. And I'm telling you, my twins, they were hurting for like a week afterwards. It was a little snug. And when I see this person, I still wear those jeans so they know that I have the jeans.
And they still fit?
They fit fine, except for the area of which we shall not speak.
By the sounds of it, I mean, it'd be great for a winter, you know, put them on in the winter. Sounds like they're bulletproof, right?
They will. And by the way, I used to do stand-up comedy, and when I would walk on stage, they would go, shh, 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 shh.
Oh, nice.
And it would be the friction. And I'm telling you, if you weren't too close to the stage, if you were too far away, your testicles would actually catch fire from the friction. It was a bad scene.
Hazardous show for the fans in the front row.
A hazardous show for the guy doing the comedy.
Right.
All right. So there we go. We have the Miz question of the week. The man's a genius. So,
somewhere.
Before we bring out the next segment, again, great question. Visit Ideal Health Chiropractic, my man Adam Maddox. He will not only straighten your back, but he'll make sure that your jeans don't and catch you on fire. Hey, everybody. A while back, I had a lot of problems with my lower back. It started with a muscle called my piriformis. And when that locked up, my lower back locked up, I couldn't coach, I couldn't run, almost couldn't walk. I went to see Dr. Adam Maddox at Ideal Health Chiropractic, and within 3 sessions, I'm back on the soccer field. I'm able to run, I'm able to lift weights, I'm able to train, I'm able to compete. And not only is he a sponsor of the show, but he's a really, really good guy. I consider him a friend. Check him out if you have any back difficulties, any back pain, even if it's in your IT band in your leg. My man, Dr. Adam Maddox, is the best in the business. Welcome back, folks. Miz, I am excited. I'm not just excited because it's Christmas time in Baltimore, but I'm excited because we got the guest of all guests here.
What's more exciting? Is it Christmas time in Baltimore or Christmas time in Hollis, Queens? Which is better?
I like Christmas, as they say in Baltimore. It's Christmas in Baltimore, better than Hollis, Queens, although they got the better music.
They do, yeah.
That song is awesome.
It is.
That song could be, Morgan, do you know the song of which we speak? It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. Run DMC, Christmas.
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me just say this.
It's on her agenda for today.
Listen to this.
It was December 24th on Hollis Ave at the dark when I seen a man chilling with his dog at the park. I approached him very slowly with my heart full of fear. Looked at his dog, oh my God.
You like it now, don't you? We just made a fan. All right. So here's why I'm excited, Miz. Right now, coming to the basement of a bank, a man who needs no introduction anywhere in the civilized world. The master of disaster, the prince of pain, the king of sting, the count of Monte Cristos. Give it up for Mike LIBBER. What's up, buddy?
How are you? How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good,
See ya.
good to be here.
Thanks for coming today.
Big fan, big fan.
Mike
Oh, so
LIBBER.
he's the one. We had one big fan.
We have one big fan.
There it is.
And with respect, could be the biggest fan we have.
True.
I'm a big guy.
Mike LIBBER. For those of you who do not know this man, it is a treat to have him on the show. First of all, he runs the best tournaments in the state, elite tournaments. You might not know, was also Baltimore Sun's Player of the Year 1993. Look at that picture, Miss Morgan. Look at that guy. Look, a young Mike LIBBER. That world in front of him could have been anything, and he became the man.
Loves competition, obviously, right? Does
Loves
it for
it.
a living.
Loves it, loves it.
Built a whole new facet of Baltimore soccer. Libs, tell me what's going on in your world.
Lots going on. We're doing the tournament stuff. That keeps us busy year round. Got asked to be on a local host committee for the convention again this year, so exciting stuff about that come January. But the big thing is being on the local organizing committee for the World Cup.
For the what?
The World Cup.
The World effing Cup. And what does that mean for us?
What it means for us is we're trying to sell Baltimore as a soccer city. And the main thing that we need to do is bring international games to the city to show the world that we can host the World Cup. We've had international matches at M&T Bank in the past.
Awesome matches at M&T.
All sold out pretty much. I mean, the ones that I attended were, it was packed. 60, 70 grand in there.
Yeah, there's no, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've hosted the Gold Cup
Yeah,
a couple times.
And you were an integral part of that.
I was the team liaison for Team USA and part of that local organizing committee. So it's a lot of fun. Meet a lot of people.
Well, now, can you use that as a dress rehearsal for what Baltimore can do for a World Cup?
Absolutely, that's our goal.
For those of you who weren't at the Gold Cup, I think it was USA, El Salvador,
And Jamaica and
Costa Rica, maybe?
Costa Rica. The one time we had Cuba there. It was USA versus Cuba the one year.
That game, there was a game that I went to. I think it might have been El Salvador, and it was 70,000. It was packed. Every other Gold Cup game that I watched that year, by the way, might have been 20,000.
Yeah, we were
half the stadium.
We were the only ones that sold out.
It was awesome. The energy, the atmosphere. It was, and the USA ended up winning that game. It was the middle of summer. It started to rain. Landon Donovan scored. Some El Salvadorian fan threw sunglasses on me, put him on in the game.
He's a guest here later.
He is.
We're
We
gonna
can
ask
talk
you
about that.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
One of the best moments Baltimore soccer, I believe.
Well, that game was so popular. The El Salvadorian fans were so anxious to get to the stadium, they parked their cars on I-95 and just left them.
Get out of here.
True story. Russell Street they had to tow all the cars on
I was gonna
Russell,
say, can you imagine
395
the tow
and
Oh
95.
my gosh.
Wow.
Yep.
Somebody doesn't know the rules.
No.
Where there's parking,
No, they didn't care.
just leave it.
That's what they do in El Salvador, apparently.
Well, so if anybody wants a car,
You come to an El Salvador match.
so what do you do to get a game like that in Baltimore?
Basically, last month we went down to Miami for it's a conference called Soccer X, and all the big wigs of the soccer world were at this conference, and we were selling the city. So we were talking to a lot of South American clubs. We talked to Flamingo. We talked to Universidad. We talked to a couple African nations to try to bring their club or their national team to M&T Bank, and we got a lot of interest.
Absolutely. Now, have you gone to Miz? Did you go to one of those games, international game?
No, not the internationals.
What about like when they had Chelsea?
All those, yeah. At the time, our club was involved with Chelsea, so we,
Right.
you know, yeah.
And then you had Liverpool Tottenham the one year.
That was an awesome game.
And then we had Man City. I can't remember who Man City played.
Man City played Inter Milan.
Inter Milan, yes, they did.
It was, but every time we host a game in Baltimore, it's just awesome.
Attendance through the roof.
And look, this is not a knock against DC and RFK or FedEx Field. There's nothing like watching a game in M&T Bank. That stadium is so perfectly designed to watch a sport like football or soccer on that field. No matter where you sit, awesome experience. Tell us about that.
Well, to compare the two, FedEx Field, I'm involved with those games as well. The issue with FedEx Field is trying to get in and out of the facility.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare, and you're dealing with the Capitol Beltway, and there's really no other access to it. But when you're in Baltimore, you can come from 360 degrees. You can come from the north, south, east, and west. It's a good atmosphere. It's downtown, so it makes it even better. You will be able to have a fan zone at the Inner Harbor. So it's just us, again, selling the city, and we just need to support the Baltimore residents and the soccer community to make this happen.
Well, the city of Baltimore itself, I mean, sells itself, I think.
Right,
Look
it
at
does.
it has that feel to it, like that European feel where you could have a bar sponsor, they want to do, so they have, I remember the one year the Liverpool fans marched to the game.
They did.
And it was unbelievable. It was like nothing, it was like being in Europe. It was, and the Tottenham had the same thing. They were all behind the goal singing when the Spurs come marching in. And it was like, wow.
Yeah.
But they weren't people from England.
No.
They were people from Baltimore.
There were. It was very well supported. I've been to matches over in England. I'm doing a thing called Doing the 92. So you have 92 stadiums, professional stadiums in the UK, and I've been to 56 of them.
Wow.
And I like to experience the different atmospheres and the fan base, and it's just something I do when I go over there. And to be fair, Baltimore has that same type of vibe as a Sheffield or even we're sponsored where we're partners with Southampton. So
Yeah.
it's a good atmosphere. It's a stadium that draws people, that just creates that vibe that you feel the heartbeat of the game a little bit, and especially when you go to Ravens games, it's the same
Yeah.
thing. You got that heartbeat that, especially now because we're doing so well, right?
Right.
But that's what we're trying to sell to the people.
As far as like, obviously the plotting and planning of something of this magnitude is just astronomical, but like I'm interested in, all the positives that we have. Like, what are the things that you feel like might be a challenge or hurdles to overcome having it here?
The challenge is obviously it's being so close to DC, because it would be one of the first, if DC and Baltimore are both not going to get it. And if DC doesn't get it, it's going to be one of the first World Cups where the nation's capital does not host the World Cup. But with that said, I think we have much more support in the city than what DC has for anything that they do. When you go to the FedEx games in DC, half the stadiums are filled with Baltimore people. I mean, I'll walk around the stadium and be like, "Hey, Lib, hey, Lib, hey, Lib," and it's Baltimore.
Do you feel like if this were to happen and come to fruition and it's deemed successful by the guys that count numbers, do you think eventually, there might be a revisit. I know right now the MLS, wants nothing to do with having two teams so close. But do you think if the support, says that, hey, look, it's there, the numbers are there, the revenue could be there. I mean, do you think that would ever come back to the table or no?
It could be. I'm not going to say no, but I think it would be a long shot. The MLS is a whole nother animal, and they have a whole nother vision than other sports or soccer leagues in the world. They're doing strategic stuff, and I think right now, strategically, it would not be wise for them to put a team in Baltimore just because of the DC base. Now, with that said, I could be totally wrong. But we'll see how the World Cup goes. If we get it, and that could put us on the map for an MLS team.
So what is the process like? What stages have to happen from here?
Yeah, so right now I think there's like 18 or 20 cities vying for a spot.
Right.
It's going to be cut down to like 12 or 14, but then you have to realize that some of these cities are going to be up in Canada
and Mexico.
And Mexico.
Right?
Now they're the preliminary games, so we still have a really, really good shot at it. Again, it's just when we bring these games to M&T over the summer, we need to make sure that they're sold out.
Right, right.
If they're sold out, I really don't see it has to be an option for them.
Now, are we talking this summer?
We will have games here this summer.
Now, are you allowed to talk about what names we're bringing in?
I can't say the names, but I can tell you that we're looking at both M&T and Canham Yards as a potential venue, depending on the I guess you want to say the exposure, the teams that we bring. Another venue that we are going to looking to use is the Naval Academy.
Oh, a great place to watch a game.
It is. It is. And we would have to. The only problem with that is we'd have to bring grass.
I was just going to ask that.
Yep. So making M&T a grass stadium really helped boost our chances. I love grass. As an organizer for tournaments, I love turf.
Yeah.
Because then I don't have to cancel anything.
Exactly.
But for these types of venues, I mean, you're going to play on if it rains, they're not going to cancel for rain.
Right. And the grass has to be
pristine.
Immaculate.
It has to be. It's like a putting green. And the other benefit that we have that DC area really doesn't have is we have the training facilities.
Yeah.
Because we have UMBC, great game field that we can use as a headquarters for one of the teams. We can use the Naval Academy as well.
Right.
You have Goucher, you have Towson, you have
Hopkins.
Well, Hopkins has turf, so that's an issue. But some of these other universities and even high schools, we could look at McDonough.
Yeah.
Type of thing. They have great facilities, like a college campus already. Stevenson is another possibility.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things, and in DC, in that general area, you really don't have much.
Now, people don't realize this, but to get the international teams or national teams here, you have to have a really good training facility. And you probably don't even remember this, but maybe you do. There was a time when it was Tottenham practiced it was Tottenham practice at UMBC. And that practice session, I was fortunate enough to get to go to there, and I think I saw you there.
Yeah, I was in charge of Tottenham when they were over here.
And it was like 105 degrees. And what Baltimore can offer is those guys train their asses off, 105 degrees on the Bermuda grass. They're just a cart ride away. And now it's even closer because UMBC built the field house right there. Right there, they have physical training room. They have locker rooms. They can get water. They can have access to anything they want. It's just a cart ride away. And there's not a lot of places that have that same thing where you're only a half hour from the stadium on which you're going to play.
I mean, similar to if you wanted to train at Herring Run. I mean, the lake's right there.
I go for a dip.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was.
And by the way, the fish you can catch in Herring Run, amazing. I've never seen a three-eyed fish before.
Lake trout. I love my lake trout.
It's good eating. Good eating. So what's the next step here? So we're getting these games in the summer. What can we do to get asses in the seats?
Basically, once we announce, which will probably be in late winter, early spring, what games we're going to have,
right,
is to promote the hell out of it.
Right.
I mean, that's it. You talk to the clubs, you talk to FC USA, we talk
Yeah.
to Soccer Association of Columbia, which is one of the biggest ones in our area. You have Baltimore Union, you have Celtic.
Yeah.
So you talk to those clubs and you get those people involved where the kids want to come to the matches, and that brings parents, and you just a domino effect with that.
Do we need to get, and I'm just spitballing here, like bars down there to sponsor?
Oh, the more the merrier, yes.
That is important.
Absolutely, yes.
Hey, if you have a bar downtown, you want people to come, boom, there's your chance. Bus trips. I know like DeSantis always runs 2-3 buses to these kind of things. Gunpowder Lodge.
We could make a say we have, and I'm just throwing it out there, say we have Bayern Munich coming.
Right.
Okay? We could have a Bayern Munich bar where all the Bayern Munich fans that maybe can't get tickets because it's sold out need to go to that bar and watch the game.
How much revenue does something like this bring to the city?
Millions. I mean, I don't know the exact number. I mean, you can basically look at what a Ravens game brings. It's probably like $4 or $5 million to a game, to the city each game. Just in tax revenue, hotel tax, and restaurant tax, and gas, people buying gas and spending money on food, beer.
Right.
You name
Parking.
it. Parking.
Going to the local businesses.
And then it's going to help generate more jobs because you're going to need people
Security,
to work these.
absolutely.
Yeah, you're going to need people to work these events, and I mean, Baltimore City needs all the help it can get when it comes to generating more money.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
we wouldn't.
can
We're
have more-
safe here, but
we're safe here, but I mean, there could be gift cards given. People will be giving out gift cards.
Gift cards to everyone who goes to the game. Get Sheila Dixon on the horn.
Absolutely, 100%. Go Sheila.
All right, we are off the crossbar. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, this is the coach Pete Eibner to talk about my company, Fast Forward Training Systems. We develop kids with the ball, make them better soccer players, increase their technical skill, increase their speed of play, and yes, we also do strength, speed, and agility. We've been in business since 1991. We've gotten over 500 kids to the Division I level in college. We have trained the best in the area. Would love to train you. So let's get out, let's kick the ball around. Visit the website, www.fastforwardtrainingsystems.com. Welcome back, folks. I am the coach, Pete Eibner. My co-coach, Adam the Miz Mizell. We are blessed to have the big libs, Mike LIBBER, Elite Tournaments, in the basement of a bank with us. And guess what we are? We are off the crossbar. Huge show. So pumped up. We're talking bringing the World Cup to Baltimore. We're talking big games this summer where Mike will not reveal who's playing, but he said it off air. And I'm telling you something. In the words of the guy from Pulp Fiction when he opened the case, oh yeah, we happy. We happy. All right? Miz, where you got?
Coach, I got a quick question here. So Mike does tournaments for a living, right?
Yeah.
So he organizes, he's there all the time. You know, it's hours and hours and hours. Myself included, and you, of course, we've coached at 1 million tournaments. So we've been at, you know, we got a lot of tournament hours logged. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Between
the three of us here. My question and I want to know from both of you is like, what is the craziest thing you've ever seen in a tournament?
You go first.
All right.
I'm just interested.
I am going to say this was not an Elite Tournaments event that I was at. There was a big game between two teams at the top of the nation. There were two teams that were competitive, top of the, each from a different region, but among the best. One parent from one of the teams yelled at a kid on the opposite team. The kid from the opposite team walked off the field and started mouthing off to the parent. Parent hit him. Another parent jumps in. The game had to be canceled because it was like a bar fight. There were people that hitting each other with bar stools, chickens flying everywhere. There was a hockey fight going on. Actually, hockey teams jumped into the fight. No, but the game had to be stopped.
Mean Gene calls that pandemonium.
It was pandemonium. There was somebody thrown over the top rope, but it actually was players against parents, against parents, against players. It was insane. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It went on for a good, I mean, this doesn't sound like a lot when I say it, but if you sat there and watched it, it was a good 3-4 minutes of tomfoolery, shall we say.
A lot to sort out afterwards, too, right?
I think both teams just got eliminated from the tournament, is what I think they ended up doing. Libs.
I would say the same thing. I mean, I've seen so many parents fighting each other on the same team, parents fighting against other parents, parents trying to go after referees. Craziest thing I saw was a parent actually push a 13-year-old girl who was a referee. Yeah.
Wow.
That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. But I've been a part where you just have pandemonium, and the referee's like the hockey referee in Slapshot. He's just
He's gone.
Yep.
You're gone.
Yep. There you go. So, I mean, sometimes it was like the Hansons putting on the foil type of thing.
There was
It's funny that all three of us had the same experience. The funniest thing I've ever seen, the craziest thing I've ever seen was, and I'll never forget it, I was at Kirkwood. You know, they used to have the Kirkwood tournament in the summer, which years back was a top-level tournament. And we're walking to the field, and there's a game going on, high stakes, probably like a semifinal or something. And there's a play in the corner where this kid slide tackles a kid way late. I mean, it was like a bad tackle. And, you know, we're walking to our fields. We just kind of look up, and the dad of the kid was standing right there and ran on the field and just, boom, clothesline this kid. He goes down. You know,
it's crazy.
It's unbelievable. Like, I'm sitting there like, is this for real right now? Like, I couldn't believe it.
Well, you know what's, I'll give him this story. You might even remember this. It was when I was coaching my 1998 team, and we were, at the time we were with the Bays, and we had a rivalry with a team called SA Atleticos. And
ESSA. Yeah.
But they say essay. I thought that's what it was. It's just essa? I thought they were saying essay.
Yeah, it's ESSA.
I thought that was a thing. All right, my bad. Sue me later. Anyway, so and you guys know the person I'm talking about. We had a goalie, and his dad wore like a red sweatsuit to everything with a hat brim turned sideways. And I'll say it off the air who it was, and you'll go, oh my gosh. But anyway, somebody ran into his kid who was the goalie. He said something which led to two other people getting into it from the other side. And then two of my parents got into it, and it was getting heated, right? So I have my cell phone on me. My cell phone rings during the game. It's his brother, Matt. And he's like, what is going on at your field? I was like, he's you gotta get it under control. And because it wasn't a Covenant. There was another park. No, it was OBGC. So it was like this.
It was the 108 field.
Yeah, and so it's like a little out of the way.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm on my way there now, but you got to hurry up and stop this before it goes. So I'm trying to, and the game's going on. And I'm running down, grabbing parents, pulling them down to it, trying to get them to stay on one side of the field. And oh my gosh, the field marshal was like, didn't know what to do. And it all got sorted out. But the best thing was watching his brother get out of the car and run up.
He ran?
It was for like 10 yards. And then it was like he's on the walkie-talkie. I thought we were going to have to get an ambulance, not for somebody hurt in a fight, but for this guy. Matt was struggling.
He had a Chariots of Fire moment.
Yes.
It was. So, elite tournaments. Is being part of this committee, is that part of elite tournaments? Or is it a separate venture?
It is and it isn't. So obviously with us running so many events, elite tournament is going to be a main factor in getting fans into the seats.
Yeah.
Just because of the contacts we have in and out of Baltimore. Is it elite tournaments on the committee? No, it's myself on the committee, and I mean, my brother's no longer with elite tournaments. He's running the Maryland Soccerplex, but he's on the committee as well. We have one of the VPs of the Ravens on the committee. the gentleman who runs Maryland Stadium Authority, and Visit Baltimore, and Terry Hasseltine, who runs basically Maryland Sports Commission. So he's in charge of bringing sport events to the state of Maryland.
Right. Yeah. So when you do this, you're doing this just for the city of Baltimore.
I am. Yeah. I'm not getting paid. No, it's no compensation. It's all volunteer work, and yeah, it's what I love. So
yeah.
it's a no-brainer for me. My wife's like, "Well, you spend all this time." I was like, "I don't care. I mean,
You just want to get involved.
I want to be involved, and I mean, I'm going to get to go to Qatar, yay, in 2022.
You're gonna stay for 3 days and 42 nights.
I mean,
right?
you can't drink there.
I'm surprised you're even going.
I know. I mean, the World Cup's sponsored by Budweiser, but you can't drink a beer in Qatar. Now they might change that law just for that week. Or
They
a month.
should.
When are
They
you going?
should.
When are you going?
It's supposed to be 2022, and I mean that's if
But what month?
Baltimore's, it's in December.
Oh, nice. I
they're
was looking up the app.
Yeah,
It's only going to be 204 degrees that day.
Yeah.
It'd be good. Yeah.
Like a fried egg on your head.
Yeah, you probably can. Do that here if I turn the right way. You know?
That's why you need the World Cup in Baltimore, so you're not having it on the middle of the sun. I mean, they're playing a game on the surface of the sun, basically.
We got to give Libber a chance to, defend himself. So I'm sure he takes a lot of flack from parents, coaches. Being the head of elite tournament, it's all about money. They just want the money. They want to cancel and get them. So take a moment and just give us the defense. I mean, my defense is real simple. If you're not doing it, somebody else will.
Correct,
Right? That's
correct.
number one.
Yeah.
But give it to us.
I mean, there's other people that do what we do, and I'm always going to say that we do it better. But one thing that we try to do is we work with clubs and teams, and if they have issues, we do scheduling around their issues as best we can. We do carry insurance. We're one of the few people that carry insurance. So if we do have bad weather, you know what? You might be out a couple bucks, but we have an insurance policy to cover all that. But you have no idea what we're out when we cancel. We don't make money when we cancel. We lose money.
Well, explain that though, because there are some that they got they gave us all credit and both. So what is that breakdown?
I mean, I have 14 people that work for me.
Right.
So they get paid no matter what because they're doing work a year in advance for all these events, and we have 38 events currently. So I have to pay that. I have to pay the office lease and
Your expenses still go on,
and Social Security and workman's comp and all that stuff. That's all rolled into it. But some facilities, I mean, we still have to pay for facilities even if they cancel, and people don't realize that. It's a racket. If a facility cancels, we still have to pay for it.
So if the facility cancels on you because of weather, they charge you?
Correct.
Full price?
It depends on the facility.
Yeah.
But we're getting charged something. We get the referee assigner. He did all his work of assigning the tournament. He still gets paid. The referees don't get paid, but the referee assigner gets paid. We paid for all the awards already, all the T-shirts that we printed.
Yeah.
Like ordering whatever we needed for that particular weekend, we had to pay for all that. Just lining the fields. Lining fields is expensive. I mean, it's like $200 a field when you look at it between the work that's done to it and then how much the paint costs. That's just the little things. It just adds up, and people just don't see the big picture.
Right.
When, I mean, Johnny might be losing $25 from the application fee or whatever it is, or $75, depending on the event, and they think it's the end of the world. But I mean, we try to get the insurance, and we have to pay for the insurance up front, whether we use it or not.
Yeah. That's what insurance is for.
And some people think that, okay, you did insurance, give us our money. I was like, we're dealing with an insurance company here. It takes 60 to 90 days. Well, I'm not waiting that long. I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to wait that long. But I mean, people like to complain, and especially on email, because they won't do it face to face, but they'll. Right. But I mean, during the tournament, I know Mike Libber, and the rule is with my employees is ask them if they have my phone number, because if they don't have my phone number, they don't know me. So.
Want to hear a funny story?
Always.
He probably knows.
So he did the Southampton tournament, right? So I had 4 teams in the Southampton tournament. So I'm there all day. Did a great job scheduling, by the way, mad props, so that I had very little overlap. But I'm running around like a madman. So there's a little break in the day, and if you ever, it was at Covenant Park, and so if you ever go down the steps of Covenant Park, there's like a little office. Well, that's like where Mike, that's like the Mike Libber Central Command Center.
The hub.
And so the tournament was sponsored by Gatorade, I think, and they had like little Gatorade things. Well, sometimes they have the boxes of the candy bar, not the candy bars, the power bar kind of thing, the energy, post game,
The
pre
gummy
game.
chews and
Right,
all
right,
that,
right.
yeah.
So I'm dying. I haven't eaten anything all day, and it was from like 9 o'clock. It's like pushing 4 o'clock. I go in, and some of the people know me, and like, hey, Pete. Yeah. Well, this guy didn't know who I was.
Did he have a mullet?
I forgot his name.
Was it Kyle with a mullet?
It was Kyle with the mullet.
Yep.
Right? So Kyle gives me one of these. Right? And all of a sudden, he's like the Black Knight in the forest. None shall pass. Right. You know? And I'm like, yeah, well, Mike Libber said I could get a Gatorade bar. We have none. You know? And, I mean, he gave me the Gandalf. You shall not pass. And I couldn't get
He does his job well.
I
So
couldn't.
did you pop next store and get the soft pretzel or no?
No, I didn't have time.
The
I was
line's
just-
too long over
The
there,
line's
yeah.
too long. So I just went starving, and then it was funny. They never broke character. He was like that, and so I filed a complaint.
So, Mike, you sit out these things hours and hours and hours. You were a high-level player. What have you seen change in the game itself?
Parents are crazy, man. I always tell people now the best team to coach is a team of orphans. It's
As far as they want to win, is that what you...
no, they think they have the right to, like 2 tournaments ago, we had a parent and a grandfather step onto the field and go after a referee because they didn't like the call. And it's getting out of hand. And now there's a shortage of referees, not just in soccer, but in every sport because parents are out of control. And I grew up, when I was 13, I got my referee's license. I mean, it was great money. I'm 13 years old. I'm walking home from a weekend making $100 cash.
Sure.
I mean,
Who
where
wouldn't
else are
do
you
that?
going to do that,
Right.
Right.
Now parents won't let their kids do it because parents are crazy, and those parents are the crazy ones. So that's the biggest issue. It's the change of, I guess, of just people thinking they have the right to complain and go over the top with certain things.
And it's a
That's
shame
change.
because there are so many good parents.
There are, and it gives a bad rap. And
Right.
there's certain clubs where, I mean, we know for a fact that we're going to have an issue with this club, and it's sad, but it's the truth. The other change is the style of play. I mean, Baltimore has always been known for blue collar, hard nose. Now we're getting a little bit too cute and pretty, and I think it's affecting what Baltimore players are. I mean, it's good to have a cute and pretty guy on the team, 1 or 2 of them, but we always had those 9 or 8 guys that would just run through a wall for you if you needed to, and I don't see that anymore. And that's the kind of player I was. I was never the most skillful player, but man, I go for a head ball, and I'd win every 50-50 ball and every head ball and any way I could. And that's what I love. That's what I love to see. I think that's why I'm a big fan of the EPL because I mean they go
They
in
go hard.
and it's not the cute pretty ball, which I mean it's fun to watch certain players, but everyone is trying to be that player, and there's certain players that are not that player, and it just doesn't go that way. And the academy is obviously the big change, and I'm kind of like the academy, but I don't like the academy. I think only MLS teams should have an academy, and that's it. And I don't think those kids should have to pay. If we're going to be a soccer nation, that's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
But every Tom, Dick, and Harry has an academy team now, and it's just too much.
It's watered down.
It's very watered down, and in my opinion, the federation doesn't know how. They're only looking at the dollars.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah, it's
Which our federation's ran by such quality individuals.
my wife.
Like Sheila Dixon.
Yeah. Well, my wife used to work at the federation when we first started dating. She worked in Chicago at the soccer house, and I saw firsthand kind of what goes on there, and it's very political, and it's sad, but it's just the way of the world. It's the way of the U.S. sometimes, and even in the youth organizations. I mean, it's just the way they handle things is, in my opinion, the wrong way. It's not the smart way to do it. It's the way of, okay, we're going to make more money doing it this way instead of doing it right for the kids. And then everybody complains, well, why aren't we winning? Why aren't we doing this? And it's like, because we just don't have the right people in charge.
Do you feel like we have the best 11 guys that start on our national team right now?
No way. No way.
Why is that?
Politics. I mean, there's no way you can say Josie Altidore is one of the best strikers we have in this country. There's no way that is possible.
So we've had a lot of discussions about like that and the ways to fix it and the people that run it and the coaching and so forth and so on. And it's like everyone's hands are tied.
Well, hands are tied. I mean, Berhalter should not be the head coach. His brother is one of the big wigs at the soccer house. That's why he's the head coach.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and people were irritated with it, but Klinsmann should still be the head coach. I think he had the right path, and even if he was there for 3 years, you got to give him time to sort out all the stuff that needed to be sorted. And I think if he was still the head coach, we would have qualified for the World Cup 2 years ago, without a doubt. Bringing Bruce Arena in? Are you kidding me?
When Landon comes in, we're going to get his thoughts on it as well.
Ask Landon. Hey, Landon would have been a better coach than Berhalter.
He's a heck of an indoor player, by the way. Did you see that? That's unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, man. I watched the U19 World Cup, and what the U.S. put out there for a U19 World Cup was not impressive. And by not impressive, I mean it was absolutely awful. I mean, I can't even say it was like Spin Doctors concert awful. It was like
He's hating on the Spin Doctors?
Yeah,
Spin Doctor. Come on, man, it's the Spin Doctors. If you want to call
They
me,
rocked Pier 6 one year, man. They were rocking it.
Pocket full of kryptonite? Come on.
all right, okay.
Two princes?
Yeah.
Right?
I did not know I was among the three Spin Doctors fans.
that's-
I'm sorry. Spin Doctors. Who knew?
But
All right.
So you're talking about the U19 team, but go back to the World Cup. The same team that didn't qualify for the World Cup also didn't qualify for the under-23s, then didn't qualify for the U19s, and then qualify for the U17s. I mean, there was a pattern there, but yet no one wanted to take the stand and say, nope, these guys aren't the answer. Let's clear house.
Your opinion. Did shutting down the U.S. camp in Bradenton, Florida, did that hurt our national team?
I don't know if a little bit, yes. I think a little bit. I think it needed to be restructured the way they did it. But I think that it's wise to have a surrounding, like an atmosphere where you put those kids in, since we don't have that over here.
Yeah.
Where they go to school, but then they're on the field for 6-7 times a week.
Right.
Whether it's twice on this day or once, and I can't say the field, I say the weight room or in the classroom and studying
working.
film, and yeah, they're studying their craft. They're getting better at their craft. I think it's wise to have an atmosphere like that.
Well, and I know the theory is, well, you have all these academies that should be doing that, so we don't need one house. But if it's good to have all these academies doing it, why not take the best 18, put them, or 23, or 30, and put them in that house, an national A team, B team, have them grow together, and not all 30 or not all 18 are going to stick, but I bet you 4 do.
Well, look at what the women did. I mean, the U.S. Soccer thinks they had to start the women's academy. ECNL was doing it right.
ECNL was great.
They were doing it right, but then U.S. Soccer said, okay,
They weren't
we see
making
the
money off
we
it.
see the dollar signs.
And they don't run it, right.
Yeah, we see the dollar signs here. So, and now they're fighting, and I still think ECNL is doing it better than the academy. But, I mean, that's just my opinion. What do I know?
Yeah. Well, before we go, I got to bring this up because I bring it up every time I see him. One of the, I said it, 1993, Baltimore Sun Player of the Year, Archbishop Curley, central back. Curley's had many a great team, and his team was the only team to go unbeaten for an entire season playing. Back then it was the MSA, now it's the MIAA.
Last year at MSA.
It was the last year of the MSA. That's correct. One of the best goals I've ever seen in youth soccer. So we're playing Calvert Hall at the time. Calvert Hall unbeaten, I think, for the whole year.
No, they lost. I think they lost. They had a game.
But they had won. They had won like several years in a row.
In a row.
Correct?
Yeah.
They were the it team, and
It was a dynasty.
Coach
It was.
Karpovich, you know, he just legendary coach. Their team was excellent. We go up 1-0. Giuliano Salenza scores.
Lost our goalkeeper 10 minutes into the game.
Our goalkeeper, Dennis Merriman, had his shin shattered. Compound fracture. He's out of the game.
Collision?
Yeah.
10 minutes in.
So it's 1-0 at half, I believe. Second half starts. He steps up for a free kick from 35 yards out.
It wasn't 35 yards out.
How far was it? 45?
34 and a half.
50.
It was top of the arc.
It was not top of the arc.
It was 25 yards out.
Okay.
We'll go
In
with 25.
1993, it might have been 25 yards out. In 2019, it was from midfield. Learn how to do it, Libs. So walk us through what happened.
Nah, I mean,
First of all, I heard the call was controversial. You know,
nah, the call was never. Jules had the ball at top of the arc, and I think it was Danny Johnson came in and just slid tackled him and just took him out. I mean, it was like sweep the leg and Johnny from Karate Kid type of thing. So
Do you think he was told that?
I don't know, maybe. I mean, Jules
Carp said, sweep the leg.
Yeah.
But Sensei, I can take this guy.
Put him in a
You have
body
a
bag.
problem with me?
So I looked at Pep, and I've had the privilege of playing for some really good coaches, Pep being one of them.
Yeah.
I had Denny Woolward and
Great guy, gosh.
and Pete Cringy and George Barry. So I had 4 Hall of Fame coaches growing up. So, Mr. Denny, I miss you. But I would look at Pep and say, hey, Pep, what do I do? And he goes, well, just hit it. I was like, all right, I'll hit it. I put the ball down, stepped up, and I think their goalkeeper didn't even. He just did one of these, and it went upper 90. It couldn't go any more upper 90 than you could think. And then I just did a run of. I don't even know where I was running because I'm a defender. I don't score goals, right? And let alone take kicks. I mean, I just put the ball in, and it just happened to go where I needed it to go.
If he hits it 6 inches to his left, it hits a kid in the face and knocks him out for life. I mean,
It was a
he hit
bullet.
this
It was a
ball,
bullet.
shoot, upper 90. One of the best goals I've ever been a part of. Great celebration after. Then we have a guy, answer to a trivia question. This guy named Sean Pasco, who would come in just to give Giuliano a breather or Steve Ball a breather. He scored in the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals.
wow.
And then Calvert Hall comes back and gets 2 goals late and almost wins it in the final seconds.
Ties it in the final seconds.
And it ties the final seconds, and John Mazon, the goalkeeper for Curly, makes a save off his ass. He blocked a shot and was getting up, and somebody hit a shot, hit him square on the backside. Ball got cleared out, we win.
You know when the force field's up, things
It
are
was
going
It was
good.
just going on.
It was
yeah.
that day.
And then we had a mega celebration back at Peppers.
Unbelievable
I
party.
mean, we had the disciplinarian dancing on the bar with parents. And, I mean, we had off the next day.
It was
Times have changed. They don't do that at Curly anymore.
No, they don't. There was people falling. It was the first championship Curly won in 25 years, and everybody was in this little corner bar, and people were like drinking and falling off their chairs. It was sloppy,
Yeah,
but
it
so
was
much
definitely
fun.
sloppy.
Yeah,
Excuse
nowadays
the absence.
it's-
It was great. Next day.
Nowadays it's like orange slices, a little, Barry Manilow.
Everybody's doing the
right.
tunnel. Run through the tunnel. Run
Yep,
through the tunnel. Give me a break.
Am I allowed to tell some of the shenanigans?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the players, I'm not saying who, some of the players, because they had the back section was the restaurant. Some of the players were getting their pitchers of Coke, and then when they're empty, going in and getting them filled up and then taking them back. So the kids were like,
Oh, we were hammered.
Smashed, huh?
hammered.
We were hammered.
Hammered.
100%.
No one checking IDs.
No,
There was
no. The bar was it was Curly only. The door was locked.
And it was like the scene from Bronxtown. Now you just can't leave.
Yeah,
It was pandemonium.
It was. It was.
All right, we are off the crossbar, and we will be right back. All right, folks, Welcome back to Off the Crossbar. We are here with Mike Libber from Elite Tournaments, bringing the World Cup to Baltimore, bringing you the best games from all over the world right here at M&T Bank this summer. Stay tuned. Now, Miz, one of the unique parts of our day.
It's very unique.
Mike, you like hair?
I love hair.
I wish I had hair.
I know. You used to.
I used to. I had a killer mullet. Who do you think had the best mullet of all time, Coach?
I mean, for me, Patrick Swayze.
That's where we're headed. You a Swayze fan, Libs?
I am.
Favorite Swayze mullet?
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
It's a fan. I mean,
It's
that's
a
a popular
fan favorite, right?
yeah.
It's either that or Point Break has been the two that we've used lately. But
Dirty Dancing, he had one too, didn't he?
it was close
It was
enough.
close,
It was
it was
more
close.
like
Yeah,
slick,
yeah,
like
yeah.
greaser kind of feel in Dirty Dancing. But we don't like to talk about that one.
Outsiders.
Outsiders, yeah. There was another one. So what mullet are we using today?
Let's do Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. You know why? Because it's time to be nice until it's time to not be nice. So what we do, Libs, we take one mullet
All right.
and we give it to one player. It doesn't have to be from the Baltimore area, but one player that deserves it. Now, of all the players in Baltimore, who do you think had the best mullet?
Gosh. Right now? Or
No. Back in the day,
then?
who?
I mean, I remember Jody Hayslip had a mullet.
Jody Hayslip, a great mullet. Jody Hayslip from Christos played at UMBC.
No, Jesse played at UMBC.
Jesse played at UMBC.
Jody played at AA.
Yeah.
College.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
And probably AA somewhere else too.
Fair enough. He said it, I didn't. You know what? Jesse and Jody might have shared the same mullet.
I think they did.
Matching mullets, right?
Yeah.
Matching mullets.
They are twins. I mean,
So you would say they were the best. Did they have the flowing, or was it more
it was
like?
wet too. I remember photos of one of them having a wet mullet.
Ooh, man, that's high level. Miss Morgan, that's high level. If you got a wet mullet. Well, so now.
Little product in there, or, you know.
Yeah, they might have a mustache with it too.
They were, let me tell you something. They'll be pissed at me, but the whole Hayslip clan, because I played with Jamie in college. They had the, mustache going a little.
Yeah.
It wasn't a full mustache. It was kind of like patchy.
Okay.
It's kind of like a West Virginia type of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
It
Like,
was just-
what's the guy from Napoleon Dynamite? That
Kip.
mustache. Yes.
It was a Kip. The Hayslips.
mullet.
Hey, I love you guys.
mustache.
CTID and all that stuff, but your mustaches were Kippish. West Virginia-ish.
Absolutely.
Bad mustaches. We got
Ferndale-ish.
Ferndale-ish. So, we think that this will rival the Jesse Jody Hayslip mullet of the 80s. Tell us about our player this week.
Phenomenal career at UNC and a local product, Bridget Andrzejewski. They came up short in the final, but what a career. National champion on the club side.
Yeah.
Conference champion in college, and then missed it in the the national championship in college. But phenomenal career.
Now, those of you who don't know, Bridget, safe to say probably one of the top 4 or 5 women's players to ever come out of Baltimore. Easy.
doubt.
Yeah.
I can think of 3 in her league, and one of them's her sister. So, Bridget, phenomenal player. Talk a little bit about what she did. Not just in her career, but specifically to the final.
In the final, she was playing out wide as like a winger, wide midfielder through the course of the tournament, and then in the final they kind of switched things around, and they played her right back. And she was just outstanding. I mean,
Phenomenal game.
no doubt.
Lost in PKs, but the job she did, it was a clean sheet until that, right?
Yeah, it was. The job she did and the pace of the kids that she was up against, flying down the flank, and not playing there a lot, but having to make that quick adjustment, I mean, that's every coach's dream. They would be able to just plug and play players like that.
Yeah, it's got to be good for Coach Dorrance down there
Yeah.
to have that ability. But phenomenal job. So, Bridget, we give you, much as Libs, the off the crossbar Patrick Swayze Player of the Week. It's beautiful.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
Love it.
Awesome. All right. Libs, you got anything you want to say to the folks?
Now just come to all the games we can put out there. That's what our main goal is. And it's great being over here, guys. I'm a big fan of the show, and hopefully I can come back one day.
Yeah, listen, man, anytime. I think we should have our own LIBBER segment.
And no question about, as we go through this process, we'll get some updates.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
this summer you're a regular.
All right, sounds good to me.
By the way, everyone, it would not be correct to not wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season and a Happy New Year from all of us at Off the Crossbar to all of you.
Even Landon.
Even Landon Donovan, I'm sorry we didn't get to you this week. We will put you on the next episode. Everyone, have a great holiday season.
Merry Christmas.